drunken editing, bad 80s hair metal, robotic acting and dialogue, and more homophobic slurs than you can wave a bloody scalpel at. We watched The Last Slumber Party. We watched it so you don't have to, so you know what time it is.
Horror, so bad it's scary. Splitting up is never okay. Plot, who needs it? Don't turn on the lights. Cars don't ever start, but that's alright. Running upstairs instead of out the door. Good acting, what do we need that for? Horrible horror, so bad it's scary. Enjoy the show, but not really.
Hey, what's up, Moon Goons? Welcome to Horrible Horror, the podcast where we watch the worst of the worst in horror movies. Movies so bad they're scary. I'm your host, Mr. Marshall Hampton. With me, as always, my co-host, Mr. Aaron Southworth. Aaron, say hello.
What's up, homos?
Hey, we're getting a lot of that this week.
Yeah, we do.
Fucking fags.
What, people don't talk like that anymore? News to them. Jeez.
Oh my God, we got a doozy this week. This week's movie was
The Last Slumber Party.
Yes, but it was suggested. It was a listener suggested movie by Paul. I'm gonna butcher your last name.
We always butcher last names.
It's either Devos or Devos or DeVos.
Like Betsy DeVos.
Yeah, DeVos. Yeah. Anyway, but so Paul, thank you for your recommendation on this doozy. So actually, it's more of a fuck you, Paul, for this movie.
With love.
Yes,
with
love. Yes, of course, with love. Yeah, The Last Slumber Party. Jesus Christ, this fucker. Okay, this movie was released straight to video in 1988.
So it went straight to video.
Straight to video.
No theatrical. You're kidding me, huh?
Yeah, big surprise.
Surprise to me.
Now, the thing about this movie is it's very hard to find. If you go to Amazon, you have to buy it on disc. You have to buy a physical copy and have it shipped to you, which is what my dumbass did. And then I looked up on YouTube, and oh look, there it is on YouTube, right there for free. It's a really shitty VHS transfer. I mean, it's really shitty if you watch it on YouTube, but it's there. It's free.
You've done that more than once.
Yeah, this is at least the second time now.
Maybe third.
Maybe. And I spent an absurd amount of money on 2 copies of this movie.
Really?
I will never spend that much money again on a movie for this show. Not just 1 copy, but 2 copies.
May I ask how much you spent?
I'll tell you off air. Because I'm already an idiot enough for doing it.
You didn't get bamboozled? Yeah, it's like a 2-disc special. It's got like 2 movies on it. What was the other movie?
Terror at 10 Killer.
Terror at 10 Killer.
Yeah,
I didn't watch that one.
I haven't watched it either.
Okay. Maybe we have to watch that one.
Maybe we will. We'll get to it at some point.
Yeah, since we might as well get our money's worth.
Yeah, I might have spent an insane fucking amount.
On a DVD.
It's not even a Blu-ray of this fucking movie.
It's
not even a Blu-ray. There are 0 special features. It's just, here's a shitty movie. We'll throw another shitty movie on the same disc. Give us a ton of money. Yeah. So anyway.
So here's you, Paul.
Yeah, here's you, Paul. You owe me. Well, I'll send you an email how much you owe me.
We'll send you the bill.
We'll send you the bill. This was your idea, after all. So it's written by Steven Tyler of Aerosmith.
Yes.
And Jim Taylor, not to be confused with Steven Tyler and Jim Taylor.
Jim Toolbilt Taylor? Isn't that his name?
That's Tim Taylor.
Oh, Tim Taylor.
Tim the Toolman Taylor, but yeah.
So this is his brother.
It's his brother, Jim. It was also directed by Steven Tyler. No, seriously, it's not the Steven Tyler from Aerosmith. I wish it was, but it's not.
Because the music would probably be a little better.
It probably would. You would hope so.
Yeah. I mean, there's some Aerosmith stuff I like from their 70s. And,
yeah. I actually don't really like Aerosmith that much.
It wasn't really a big...
There's like maybe 3 songs of theirs I like.
They're early
2
80s.
for sure, but other than that.
They're early, like Love in an Elevator I like. Janie's Got a Gun I like.
Janie's Got a Gun. Janie's Got a Gun is my favorite, and then followed by Living on the Edge. After that, I'm like... Yeah, I don't really care.
Yeah, it's when they got more ballady and stuff. The older they got,
oh god,
when they stopped doing drugs and started drinking Diet Coke, that's when it kind of went downhill.
So anyway, other than Last Slumber Party, the only other directing credit that Steven Tyler has is a co-directing credit for something called Fasuna to Chabusa in 2002, which he also wrote.
Whoa! In 2002?
2002.
He took quite a hiatus.
Quite the hiatus.
Wow.
He wrote it, but he's like, I think he learned his lesson after this. Like, you know what?
I'm not touching another film for 15 years.
And then when I did, I'm going to co-direct.
He's about due then, isn't he?
He's due.
Isn't he due for another one?
His third,
Yeah.
His trifecta is coming up. So anyway, the cast ain't nobody worth a goddamn mention. Actually, I take it back. There's one person who got an interesting career after this movie. Not in acting, keep in mind, but Rick Polizzi, Polizzi, Polizzi.
Did he go into med school and become a surgeon?
That'd be no. He did go on to become a producer, a production manager, and an animator for The Simpsons.
Cool.
And like a long, year run with a long time he worked on The Simpsons.
I'm still going today, so
Yeah. So that's it. But everybody else, one and done. Did nothing else after that. After this movie. So that's.
You sure? Because the acting was just.
Oh my God. Woo-wee. His choice, let me tell you. God damn it. This is gonna be a painful one, guys. Ooh. Wow. All right. So the movie, we open straight with the credits, which are actually a little different depending on which version you watch. Like the DVD version, and then if you watch the version on YouTube, which is a rip from the old VHS, there are some differences in the credits. Like the coloration is a little different and whatever, but it's not much. But we're not. It doesn't matter. Then the music kicks in, which is like a bad '80s hair metal, like really bad hair metal, like
Strike Force.
Yeah, or like Rat with two T's or something like that, or it's like really winger.
Dragon Wing.
Yeah, like bad '80s.
Like this guy should be riding like a Siberian tiger with like barbarian gear on, but no muscles.
Yeah,
like those kind of guys.
The entire opening scene is done in slow motion for some reason, which is really weird. And the camera is just panning around in a hospital room, and we see this guy in a hospital gown, and he's taking like a surgeon's mask and scrubs out of like a cabinet or something.
He's wearing a patient's gown, and he's putting on like Marshall said, surgical scrubs
and the mask,
and the hat and the mask,
the little hairnet,
the hairnet,
whatever you call that thing. And then the door to the room starts to open, and the man who has this giant scar going across his forehead grabs a scalpel, moves over to the door, ready to kill or attack whoever's coming in. But all that happens is you see a hand come in and turn the lights off, and the door closing, and you're like, "Oh, that was a bunch of nothing." Okay, great.
Okay.
And then that's it. Then we jump to the streets of some suburb where a Volkswagen Thing races down.
What is that car?
It's a Volkswagen Thing. That's what it's called.
It's called a Thing?
A Thing, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, the Thing.
Interesting.
It's a for younger listeners, if you won't know what a Thing is, but
I didn't know what it was.
It's a very unique, one of a kind car. I don't want to say it's like it's kind of like a transformer of a car in a way that it's very. It could be, it was like a convertible, but also besides just the top coming down, you could also flip down the front windshield.
Yeah.
Or have that up, and I think you could also do something with the doors if you like. There's a really weird concept car. It was really unique, really kind of cool, but they were short-lived.
Yeah. Well, I can imagine those things being goddamn death traps.
Yeah.
There's no bar on top of it. Not even windshield. Yeah.
You get a rock in the face or
June bugs in the teeth.
A June bug at 80 miles an hour down the highway, you're going to give you a concussion.
Sure.
So, anyway, the camera then pans up to the second floor window of this house that the car drives by, where we see some blonde teenage girl. She's looking out.
Looking out the window, and she waves.
She's like,
oh.
It's like this poor girl's like fucking Rapunzel trapped in her tower. She's like looking at all the kids running around. She's like, oh, God.
I sure wish I could ride the thing.
So she goes over to her van and he starts combing her hair. And then we see the man in the scrubs just pop up in the window, eyes all bugged out wide like he's fucking on speed or something.
Dude, he's just smoked a ton of crystal meth.
Yeah.
And he's just like, ah! Just pops up.
How the fuck he manages to do this defies all laws of gravity and physics?
Yeah.
Because he's like, we clearly see she's in the second floor. There's no ladder. He's just like levitating outside the window. And he's like, hey!
Anybody paid a psychiatrist?
Yeah.
Oh.
The girl screams. And then the maniac is now inside her room looking straight down the barrel of the lens, holding up the bloody scalpel in front of his face.
The scalpel in front of his face, and it's like out of focus.
It's out of focus.
And he's like holding it basically his arm's almost completely extended. Yeah. And the camera's focused on his face, and it's just this blurry thing.
Metal, silver thing, yeah.
And she's like, ah!
And then we cut to the girl standing outside of her house, talking to a cop, telling him that the guy went this way.
Yeah, the police pulled up. Man, talk about response time.
Exactly. Like, he must have been like just literally like
right
two
there.
houses down. Because think about the I'm going to use the word logistics again of this scene. Aaron and I had a big conversation about logistics before we went on the air. Okay, so first of all, the guy's at the hospital, and then he's suddenly at this house, which, okay, fine, whatever. We don't know how much time passes there. I'll give you that one. But then he somehow, like I said, he levitates himself up to the second floor, goes in through the window. So he's inside the house. Girl screams. Girl is now outside on the lawn.
With the police there.
With the police already there.
And the police are aware that there's a prowler or a bad guy there.
But how did he not...
Dude,
how does he not kill this girl? This girl apparently had enough time to call the cops and get out of the house before... And then the killer just disappears or runs away.
We gotta stop dissecting scenes right now because we'll be here all night.
I know, but there's so much to dissect. Like, nothing makes any sense.
That's the first like 2 minutes of the movie,
and it's already like giving me a serious migraine trying to think about how this works.
10 minutes.
Like, how would this isn't possible. It's like, where did he go? Why did he go into the house if just to run away if he didn't kill her? Why? I can't figure this out.
It's gonna be like that the whole time. So we just gotta power through it, baby. But you know what's kind of funny? When they're showing this, they're also still showing the opening credits.
Yeah.
And they're so cheaply done. You can tell it's done on like a cheap editing machine. It looked like the intro to like Family Matters or Full House. Like the way it's like, it looks like a cheesy 80s sitcom the way the credits are going. It's kind of funny.
It does. That's a great point. So next we cut to some high school class. Classroom on the last day of school, where once again all of our main characters happen to be in the same class again.
It drives you nuts.
It does. The teacher's rambling on the background. Here's a fun fact: the teacher is played by co-writer Jim Taylor. So,
all right.
The nerdy guy who's also wearing a scrub, just like the top half is like the scrub.
Yeah, he's
shirt.
wearing a scrub top.
Scrub top thing.
Yeah, and
he's messing around with like the teaching skeleton, like the you know that your teaching skeleton.
But he's like poking at it with a scalpel.
He is. He's poking at with a scalpel, but it looks like he's trying to use the scalpel as like a screwdriver in like the neck bone.
Open the neck. Yeah, he's like fooling around with.
I was fascinated trying to figure out. I watched this like, what the fuck is this guy trying to do?
It doesn't. And again, why would he have a scalpel just and letting the student fuck around with it?
It's the 80s. I get it's the 80s, but still, like, what school allows a kid to walk around campus with a scalpel? Like, he can just, it's basically a shiv. He can just walk up and just slice and dice anybody he wanted in the middle of the hallway.
I mean, you needed it in science class to dissect frogs and stuff like that.
But you know what? They kept him under lock and key. And I remember dissecting like the baby pig and the frog in like 7th grade. 7th grade is when we did it. And the scalpels, after class, like, here you go. All accounted for. Yeah. We were wandering around the halls with them or keeping them in our pockets.
Right.
So, anyway, I was fascinated with this, watching this guy trying to figure out what the hell he was doing. And it made me think, like, what the hell did the director tell him to do? Like, what was his direction? Like, just stand there.
We're going to do this all night if we keep doing this.
Sorry, but it doesn't make any sense. Everybody else in class is sitting around talking, gagging, waiting for that last bell to ring. And he's over there, like, dicking around this skeleton, like, with a scalpel. I'm like, what is he doing? I don't know.
Do this.
So, anyway, the thing I do love about this guy is he's simply called Science.
Yeah, his nickname is Science.
It's not even his nickname. Apparently that's his given name, because that's the only name he's ever referred to in this entire movie.
His first
Science.
name is Research. His last name is Science.
Should be the other way around. Science.
Research Science. I don't know. Whatever.
Anyway, Science, which I do love that. And then we get introduced to the rest of our people, where Chris is our main character. Chris is a girl in this one. Chris is the girl. And then we have the three guys, Tommy, Billy, and Scott, who are like the cool prankster guys of this movie, which, again, take that with a grain of salt. The Tracy, the blonde girl, who's probably the best looking girl in this movie, and that's not saying much. And then Linda, the kind of brunette, who's kind of like the conservative one, the kind of
She's got the curly haired brunette.
I was like,
she's the stick in the mud. That's the way I describe it. Just like the stick in the mud.
Yeah, but she's also friends with like the party girls
the cool
too
girls,
somehow.
Yeah.
Like I think they tried too hard to make Linda wait. Like I clearly see like the inspiration for Linda came from Laurie. Well, from Laurie Strode.
Exactly.
That's like they just like, oh, you're trying to make Laurie Strode. And then,
totally.
Yeah, you're trying to make Laurie, Linda, and what's the other girl's name?
I don't know.
No, I forget the other girl's name. I should know that. Anyway, the final bell rings. All the kids scream and Dre rush out ready for summer break. We cut to our three girls walking, talking, how their summer of nonstop partying starts tonight, and they all agree to have a slumber party tonight at Linda's house. And my God, I have never seen so many pleats on jeans before in my life.
What about Linda wearing the baggiest clown pants I think I've ever seen?
Well, but they're pleated.
The two girls on each end are wearing like tight jeans, because they're the slutty.
Tight-ish, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's the girl in the middle who has these baggy ass pants pulled up to her fucking tits.
The wardrobe in this movie is atrocious.
I kind of love it.
It's awful.
It's awesome.
It's awesomely bad, but it's so bad. It's like, and here's another thing. This movie was released in '88. It looks like it came from could have been anywhere from 78 to 82.
Right.
I mean, the clothes do not match 88. This is like early 80s,
this
late
movie
70s.
Was filmed in Louisiana.
Grant.
Maybe things are a little slower in the South.
Than Cajun folk and Cajun country.
They do talk a little slower in the South, and fashion comes just as slow.
Yeah, but my God, the pleats. So many pleats. Then we cut to a mental hospital where we meet Dr. Sickler, who turns out later is also Linda's dad.
Oh, Dr. Xanax.
Dr. Xanax, yep.
Holy shit, this guy is devoid of personality.
And the sad thing is, he's still actually one of the better actors in this movie.
Oh, no. He doesn't even try. He just talks like this.
Oh, he doesn't try at all. I'm not saying he does. He's terrible. But everybody else is terrible, too. Like, everybody in this movie is awful.
Terrible.
Just awful. So, yeah, Dr. Xanax, and we meet him and nurse number one. They're walking and talking about a certain patient that's just so strong that the Thorazine is barely working on him, and he has to be strained to his bed, and he's just so unpredictable. Oh, my God.
They're talking, like...
Again, I remind you of the fucking Halloween thing where, oh, is it going to be on Thorazine? Isn't that going to be like, he's going to be barely dead. And like, that's the point.
That should drop an elephant.
Yeah. Like, that's the point to have him. It's like, oh my God. So now, then out of nowhere, we just cut to a close-up of the maniac's face. And then a crossfade to some medical chart that's pretty much impossible to read due to the horrendous video quality of this movie. All you get is the very last line says something like, suggested action, prefrontal lobotomy.
He's a paranoid schizophrenic with a tendency towards extreme violence. Recommendation: full frontal lobotomy. Which I looked up. They haven't done a full frontal lobotomy since 1967. So 20 years as it was released. Now, it's not to say that it's still medically, they still have it medically, like, as a possibility.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been performed in the United States since 1967.
Yeah. But we just talk about, this is something this movie does all the time. Throughout this movie, constantly, it goes from one scene, and then it just cuts to the maniac's face. And, like, a close-up of his face, eyes all bugged out of his gourd, and then just right back to another scene. It's the weirdest.
It's like they changed channel.
Choice. Yeah.
It's like changing the channel. It's that violent.
Yeah.
It's like click, change the channel, bug-eyed face. I'm going to turn it back to the movie.
It's exactly basically what it is.
This editing is, oh, wow.
The guy took one too many shots of tequila or something when he started editing this thing, man.
Too many hurricanes.
Yeah. Married to Louisiana. So... we see Sickler is the one reading this chart. He's sitting on the edge of the maniac's bed. And I'm going to call him Maniac throughout this entire movie because, one, we never get a name for this guy. and that's why he's credited in the credits. It's just Maniac.
I thought they said it was like Mr. Randall. I thought there's like Mr. Randall's your next patient. Yeah, I thought it was Mr. Randall. But that's the only time I heard his name. But Maniac is fine.
Patient.
Maniac is fine.
Anyway, Maniac wakes up, grabs Sickler, pulls him down towards him, and basically, it's so bad. It looks like he's not trying to kill him. It looks like he's trying to make out with the guy.
I thought he was going to passionately make out with him. Instead of like grabbing him violently and pulling him down, it looks like he passionately grabs him around the neck and pulls him down like, come here, baby.
That's exactly what I thought, and that's what it looks like, too. Because Sickler, the way you can isn't even struggling. He's just laying there going with it. You can clearly see this in the footage.
It's like those movies from the 50s when the macho guy's like, come here, darling. And like she's like, no. And then he starts to kiss her and she kind of like pounds on his chest a little bit, then gives in because the kiss is that good.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what it looks like.
Only the fact is he gives in immediately. Immediately.
Because he's an easy slut. That's why.
So a couple orderlies and a nurse rush in to restrain the maniac. And then we go right back to Sickler and the nurse talking in the hallway. So I guess this was a flashback.
And again, it's just...
Yeah, right back there.
And he's like looking off in the distance like, that happened.
Yeah. Yep. And so they decide to go check on the maniac. Which, by the way, for a guy who is violent, like a violent mental patient, so far gone they'd have to give him a lobotomy as a last resort to restrain this guy and to get him under control. They have zero security measures for this guy. They walk into his room. It's just a regular hospital room that you would have if you had your tonsils removed.
Unlocked.
There's no locks on the door. It's just walk right in. There's a giant window right there next to his bed. They keep saying we have to restrain him to his bed. Nope, he ain't restrained. There's no restraints on his bed.
No one-on-one supervision. No sitter. Nothing like that.
Just left to his own devices. He could get up and walk away, go get himself an ice cream down at a fucking froyo spot if he wanted to.
And I love how they go in to examine the patient.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that. Hey, let's go and check on this patient. They walk in, and when they see the shape of somebody laying underneath the sheet. I'm like, oh, okay, he's sleeping. That's cute. Let's leave him be. Let's turn and walk out.
That's how I examine all my patients from a distance. From a good 10-foot distance.
Again, a serial killer, a violent guy who's like, they don't even make sure he's him because that's what they get. They fall from the old juvenile kid trick. The camera pans over and just blankets and pillows underneath the sheet, and they're like, oh, all right, he's there. Let's move on. What the fuck is wrong with this hospital? God damn it. It's like the Ferris Bueller bullshit, man. Like,
Ferris Bueller did better.
He did better. He obviously did better, but Jesus Christ. It's the oldest trick in the book. I'm just put some pillows here, and they're like, okay.
And I just love it. He walks in. It's like, okay, doctor, next patient for you to see. He's like, yep, he's fine.
So we cut to Linda at her house on the phone with Chris as they talk about the slumber party. Linda's, like I said, she's the super conservative stigma. She's like, guys, we're not going to do anything that'll get me in trouble tonight, right? And guys, and the writing is so forced because they keep trying to build up and instill in our heads that these Tommy, Chris, and Scott are these such pranksters.
Yeah,
and that they're like, oh my god, they're the biggest pranksters in all time. Like
they drove a car into a pool
at the last party. They're not gonna do that here, are they?
They get drunk and wild.
Yeah, it's like Jesus. Okay, enough of it. After the call ends, Chris lays down on her bed. The pastime, I guess. And then we just cut back to the hospital where Nurse 1 and Nurse 2, their shifts have ended and they're leaving the hospital. Nurse 2 gets in the car, drives away, while Nurse 1 heads to the bus stop. She sits on the bench next to some guy who seems to be unconscious.
Yeah, he looks like a fucking vagrant.
Yeah, he does. It's like, okay.
He's got like a bushy ass hairdo.
Giant, bushy fro, crazy hair.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, and I'll get to realize, I don't know if a girl would just walk up and sit right next to this dude. I get you at the bus stop, but
it's a bus stop with no street
shelter,
light.
No street light, and not one of those shelters.
No
either.
shelter above it, and there's
a
guy who looks like he should be in a 70s Bee Gee band or something. With some giant bushy hair, all passed out. Just sitting there with his head down, and she pops around
right next to him.
Hey, buddy, it looks like the bus is late, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like. I don't think that would happen, but whatever. And then she stands around, waits for a bit. The maniac pops up behind her with a scalpel. She turns around, sees him, is like,
yeah. And again,
what are you doing?
She's like, hey, what are you doing? And he's again full garb,
full hospital garb, eyes. Again, we're gonna say it every time, but eyes just look like they're about to pop out of his socket.
Again, holding the scalpel,
arm. I wish I was getting video. I was trying to just like
just showing it to her,
waving it brown. And she's like, what are you doing? And the maniac waves a scalpel at her and then slices her down the face with it, which apparently is enough to kill her.
Yeah.
This would not kill anybody. Yes, it would hurt. You would be severely cut. You would be like, but a slice down the face with a scalpel is not going to kill anybody. And she's screaming, ah! Down on the bench, still out cold. He then drags her body away right past the man, and as soon as her feet are out of frame, then the dude wakes up.
And then I see him. He looks like an orderly. He's got like a scrub top on also. And since they're close to the hospital, my guess is that like she knows this guy. They might ride the bus together. So I'm like, oh, okay. He's just probably like another hospital employee.
I kind of thought that too.
Yeah, it is a scrub top. Yeah, it was a scrub top.
All right.
He's like, what? Where's the bus?
Bus is still late again? Huh. And then the maniac pops up behind this dude and slits his throat with the scalpel. And the blood effects are fucking atrocious. I mean, the maniac's like slit half of the man's throat already before any blood is seen. It's like they couldn't get the blood effect right. There's no like prosthetic. The blood's coming from the scalpel and not the man's neck. And it's like they couldn't get go out the little itty bitty tube in time because he's halfway across the neck before any blood starts coming out.
Should we do another take?
Nope.
We got 30 more to do this night. Keep going, baby. Keep going. I mean, that would be such an easy fix. It's like, cut. The blood didn't come out. Wipe it off. Reset. Let's go.
Yep.
Easy. Super easy.
Do they do
it's
it?
It's not like a lot of dialogue was spoken. He just goes, huh?
It's like they had to reset like a big stunt or explosion thing. It's like a dude on a bench. Like you can do this like 10 times.
There's no extras or anything.
Nothing. Anyways.
Gotta keep going, baby.
Back at
This has got to hit the video shelves next month.
We go back to Linda's house. Chris and Tracy are dancing around in their pajamas. Linda's watching TV.
Is that how girls dance? They're like embracing each other's arms, dancing back and forth. Like
it's bad.
Dude, they look like they're from Charlie Brown cartoons or something.
Yes, they do like the Peanuts dances.
And like, I'm looking at this, I'm like, this guy's never been with girls. This guy's never been invited to a party.
And I guess the girls haven't either because you would think they're like, this isn't what happens. We don't dance like this.
They're listening to fucking metal. You know, they're metalheads.
Yeah, they're like doing the Peanuts dance like Metallica or something.
They look so happy.
Metal. And then sticking them on Liz just on the couch watching the TV.
The smallest TV ever invented.
It's so tiny. Her dad,
like a 6-inch screen. God.
Her dad enters, turns down the stereo.
Again, with all the charisma of a mushroom. You know, it's just, I can see why you didn't hear me come in. All that loud rock music.
And your mom's trying to get to sleep. Let's turn this down, girls.
Okay, girls.
A special news flash comes on the TV, which, like I said, at this point, it's just a slide. It's not even like you don't see a news reporter.
Channel 4 special alert. They can't afford cameras.
Exactly. It seriously says Channel 4 special news flash. That's all you see. There's no report, nothing, just a static image. And it's funny about this is the slide is in color, but when you see them, it's a black and white TV.
And they must have hired a person from the Lollipop Guild to read this because it's like, special report, the killer on the loose.
Oh, the woman reading it.
Her voice is so, it sounds like a little person from the Lollipop Guild.
Somebody just like sucked a bunch of helium down before they did it. Yeah. So the report talks about 2 bodies were found behind a bus stop near the hospital. The girls ask Dr. Sickler if he knows anything about this. He's like, nope, probably just some shady character.
And he does not seem to be concerned at all.
He's like, nope, just some shady character. Good night, girls. And he leaves. That's it.
I've worked at a couple hospitals. If I heard that a nurse and an orderly were murdered after just moments after I left work from the hospital, I'd be freaking out. I'd be like, holy shit, who died? Who got killed? I'd want to find out.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's my hospital. There's people have pride in that stuff, and he's like, whatever.
Like, yeah,
probably some nutcase.
Just some shady person.
Fucking, this guy is just gone.
I think he gave himself a lobotomy or something.
Probably. Maybe that's why he loves him so much. Doctor, we haven't been doing this since 1967. Their bliss. You feel nothing. No emotion.
He's hitting from his own stash, man. He's getting to that lithium or something. Yeah, and the girls, he's not even trying to console the girls. Like, nope, good night, I'm out of here. Leave you.
Yeah.
So at this point, Chris wants to call the menfolk over.
It was, let's wrestle up some menfolk.
Yeah.
Let's wrestle up some menfolk.
The dialogue is so fucking strange.
Says that?
Like, nobody talk. It's like, again, that's like old Western speak, but then there's like weird other outdated terms and word terminology.
And there's
like
Southern accents are there sometimes, and sometimes they're not.
It's so weird. It's all over the place. It's so all over the place.
Like, their accents come and go. It seems like they were trying not to use their normal Southern accents, but it would just creep in half the time.
While she's on the phone, one of the guys pops up behind her outside wearing like a monster mask or something like that. Linda screams like, "Ah!" and rushes over to get Tracy in the kitchen. That's when the guys pop up in the kitchen window now, also wearing masks again. They laugh at their prank. Ha 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 ha, good times. The guys and girls share one of the worst exchanges of dialogue ever put on film at this point.
And I think they drop fag, homo, queer bait, all in like a span of 30 seconds, along with like 12 F-bombs.
There's so many homophobic slurs in this movie. It blows my mind.
I mean, it's
like, I get that ladies, yeah, a lot of times, we've seen a lot of this show. A lot of times they be like, oh, fag, are you gay? Sure,
but
you get once, maybe twice.
Right.
There's like 10 in this movie.
In like 20 minutes, there's 10.
And like 8 of them all come from Chris, our main character.
Yeah.
She drops like all of them.
Holy God. And so much swearing. So much swearing. I mean, there's a lot of swearing in this movie. Everyone's constantly, I mean, it's just such juvenile writing.
It's so juvenile.
It's so crazy.
But I guess, again, maybe I hate to say it, but South again.
Maybe
South
the
of
South.
80s, like, really hating, I mean, not liking
just
gays.
being real.
South.
They're throwing around fag like it's not like, because movies like Teen Wolf, there was like, they used the F, they called it's like, hey man, if you're a fag, I can't help you. And that was like for impact.
Yeah.
You know, in other movies, it's like when they say fag or queer, it has impact. This, they use it so much, it's just like water rolling down a hill. You know, it's just it's like, hey, let's just keep it going. God damn.
Anyway, the guys decide to leave to go get beer, and they're like, "Oh, we may come back later." So we cut to the guys pulling up to the gas station in the Volkswagen thing again. They're drinking and driving, by the way.
Yes.
They have a run-in with Science here, and then they have another run with Dr. Sickler.
They see Science and like, Science, hey, what's up, fag? You know, you're calling them homo and queer too.
Oh, I want to go back to something I found. Another thing back in the beginning in the classroom scene, I found it laughable because they call it, the guys like, Science, come here, Science, come over here, and show us your watch. Like, oh yeah, I got this new super watch.
Yeah, show us your fancy watch.
And Science goes, oh, my super watch, because I have this so like synced in. It's timed perfectly with the bell of the school.
They count down.
It's like they act like this is the pinnacle
yes.
of technology,
yes.
that he can sync his watch up with the school.
And this is another thing that I'm kind of glad you came back to this scene, because when they're saying, like, they're kind of like teasing him a little, but at the same time they like have him sit down,
but
and
they're cool with it. It's weird. It's a weird relationship because, like, haha, he's a nerd guy and we tease you, but it's like we still like you too.
Yeah, it's like they weren't when they were teasing him, they weren't teasing him too bad. They're just like, get over here, numbnuts. You know, that kind of like stuff you'd say to your friends. You know, and then he was interacting with him as well. It's like, yeah, guys, check out my watch. Look, 10, 9, you know, and counts it down. And they were like, all right, school's over, high fives. You know, they weren't like giving him a wedgie.
No, none of that.
Whatever. But then when they show
up,
up,
really bullying him either. It's more jokey, pow horseplay than like straight up bullying.
Yeah.
But my point about that scene is that I found life was one, the watch is so high tech. I can see it over the like. Okay, great. It seems the school clock. Why not just look at the clock that's on the fucking wall that the camera points us at? When the camera when they start doing the countdown, we're not looking at his super watch. We're looking at the clock on the wall. Who fucking cares about his watch? Just look at the clock on the wall.
That's a great point. I didn't even think about that.
That's just so dumb.
Just show the watch.
Just show the watch.
That's all they're talking about is the watch.
The super watch is synced up perfectly, but they show the clock.
Dude, I wish they would have showed him just being a calculator watch.
It was a calculator watch. It was a big black box on his watch.
Still got one of those.
That's exactly what it was. But bring your point back to the gas station. Yes, this time they're a little more rough with them this time.
Yeah,
than when they were in school.
Basically, they're just like, we're gonna get chicks. You're gonna go beat your meat. You're gonna go jerk off. Hey, if you keep jerking off, we're gonna talk about your dick all night long.
And you get hair in your hands.
They just kept talking about his dick. Like they're obsessed with it.
Yeah. So I think after science leaves, then Dr. Sickler comes out, and he has an exchange with the guys again. Oh, put you to sleep. So fucking boring.
I have to get orange juice for my wife.
This is the orange juice scene where he talks about orange juice a lot. It's not quite as bad as hot soup from a muck train, but it's almost
I loved hot
orange
soup.
juice.
My wife, no specific terms, instructed me to get orange juice. So I have to get orange juice for my wife. It's like, oh, just shoot me now. Stop talking.
We go back to the girls sitting around talking, drinking, writing, and the writing and acting and then are just incredibly robotic in this. It's just awful.
Yeah, they keep telling Linda, it's like, we're going to get Scott over here, and Scott's going to fuck you, and you're going to get Scott, and Scott's going to make you take your virginity, and we're going to get you drunk so you can fuck Scott.
Guys, come on now. I don't even know if I like him. And it's like, yeah, you do. Like, I'm going to get you. No, you're not. It's so fucking robotic,
unnatural.
And bad. It is so unnatural. Like nobody speaks like this. It's like we've seen people write this a few times in like the reviews when we get to 5-star reviews, but it's like fucking alien. It's like body snatchers, man. It's like there's aliens just wearing human skin, trying to act as humans, like they don't know how.
Yeah.
Or it's almost close, like again, kind of like Family Guy. Remember Family Guy? They had those two foreign guys who kind of spoke.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like those, like the foreigners.
All right, man. We go to discotheque. We talk to girls, and then we can take them to go get milkshakes. All right.
It's something like, and it's not as the English isn't as broken as that, but it's kind of like
it's just the
unnatural.
That little hint is something's off.
Yes, that's what I'm getting at.
You can't quite put your finger on it, but something's way off.
Yes, that's what I'm getting at. Thank you. That's exactly what I'm. Yes. So the girls decide to head upstairs to call the guys. The maniac pops up in the window right as Linda turns to walk away. Again, I want to comment on the. He just pops up
as soon as someone like turns their back. He's like pop, It's not discreet. He's wearing like bright green scrubs.
Yeah,
and this crazy like mask and hat, and with his eyes as big as saucers. It's so weird because it happens all throughout the movie. Anytime someone turns their back, he's like, "Pah!"
Yeah, we can't say enough, but like it looks like he just like snorted meth through his pee hole. Like that's like his eyes was like, "Wah!" It's just
injecting it straight into his dick hole.
Yeah.
What a maniac! A true maniac.
Anyway, the upstairs wallpaper, I'm going to comment on this too because it's crazy. It's the wallpaper is so busy. Like, it's not as bad wallpaper. It's bad interior design.
It's everywhere.
But it's like, it's the type of wallpaper you put in like a big, grand, like a dining room or a big open room. Not like a tiny little narrow stairwell in a hallway.
On each wall, on the ceiling, on the wall behind. It's
black and white, and it's so busy. And so crazy that it's both hypnotic and headache-inducing at the same time.
I was thinking like Funhouse style. Yeah. Like this is something you would create to cause confusion.
It's black and white. If you spin around fast enough, you can get that little black and white hypnotic effect you see in cartoons all the time.
You're gonna fall over. Yeah.
But it's like again, it's not bad wallpaper. It's just poorly placed, and I can't stop looking at it the whole time.
It's nauseating.
The wallpaper steals the show. That's how bad these actors are. That they get outshined by wallpaper.
Although I did hear the sweet line of, "Hey, we're just going to keep giving Jack Daniels till you loosen up. If it can get Scott into your pants." I'm like, Jesus! Is there like a bet they have?
Tracy and Chris have a bet who can get Linda laid first.
We're going to get her laid tonight.
It's like one of those like office pools or something like that. Like this is like the last day of the pool. Like, if we don't get tonight, we're fucked. Right. We're out $200,000.
We don't care. Her parents are home and coming and going. We're gonna get Scott over here. Got her fucked up on booze. We are getting her puss pounded tonight.
We're winning that office pool. That Sam Goody gift card is good as ours. Tower music.
Nice 80s reference.
Thank you. So anyway. Also, the bedrooms in this house, it's where like the first floor is fine, the hallway's decorated, but like the bedrooms are the barest, like skimpiest. It looks like
they're big rooms.
They're big rooms, but there's the opposite. They're empty. There's like nothing on the walls.
Yeah, there's.
Well, at one point we will see the far wall of Linda's bedroom does have some stuff on.
Way too much.
Like,
spread it out.
Yeah, but like the majority, like 3/4 of the time, the camera angles we always see in Linda's room is this one wall that leads to like the bathroom and the closet door. Nothing there.
Oh no, there's something
one
there.
Muppets poster there.
Sesame Street poster.
It's Muppets. Yeah, I guess it's
same thing, but yeah.
It's Sesame Street. Which is weird. Sesame Street poster in at least a 16 to 18-year-old girl.
A girl
room.
who gets her, like, who should be getting her puss pounded.
Yes. And she's got a poster for a 5-year-old. And that's it. Like, and then the mom's room is even worse. Linda at least has like a queen size bed. When we see the mom, she's sleeping like a fucking twin or something like that. And there's nothing in these bedrooms at all. It's just bare, hollow, empty void. It's weird. So anyway, I found it so weird because like it's normally in movies you always see like the teenage girl's room is cluttered with stuff. There's stuff everywhere.
Especially in the 80s. Because that was like the age of the poster.
Yes.
You know, like
the poster became the big thing.
And also like the magazines you cut out your heartthrob or the band you like or a TV show or it was the age of the posters.
17 magazine and Tiger.
When I was a kid in the 80s, dude, I had posters lining my walls. You had posters lining your walls. We had posters, and like all of my friends had posters out the ass too.
Mm-hmm. And again, these walls are just bare. So anyway, Chris picks up the phone to call the guys, which I'm going around this because this makes zero fucking sense too.
Oh, and she drops that line again. Let's rustle up those men. She says it again. She says it twice.
But it makes zero sense because they know the guys aren't even home. They just saw them downstairs in the kitchen window, and the guy said, "Hey, we're going out for beer. We'll be back." So why are they calling the guys? Who are they calling? There's no...
Dude, she's calling up the men wrestling service.
I guess.
Like, hi, I'll take 3 dickheads. Can you send them over quick?
Like an escort service?
Right.
Like, I just need some dudes. I don't care who. Just send some dick over here now.
It's the men wrestling service.
But it's crazy. And then as soon as Chris picks up the phone, a ladder appears outside the open bedroom window. Which, by the way, it seems like every window in this house is always open all the time. Tommy pops up wearing that mask again. They help him in. He makes a dick joke, which I actually thought was kind of funny. It's sad. I thought this was funny, but it's like the best thing in the movie, which it's still bad.
It's because it was actually delivered okay.
Yeah, because they're trying to pull him in through the open window, and he gets kind of stuck. He's like, "Oh, if your ass wasn't so big, we'd get you in." He's like, "It's not my ass." And they're like, "Oh, he's making a big dick joke." Okay, it's funny. I get it. But then we fast cut to the exterior shot, and now we see the maniac standing below Chris. He reaches up and tries to slice Chris with his scalpel, but misses as Chris is pulled inside. But the problem with this shot is it looks so bad, so horrible, because you can tell that the maniac had ample time to grab Chris and slice him, but it's like he was waiting for the director to yell action, and they just turned the camera on too soon. They start recording too soon.
That's because he's just standing there like, I'm going to get him.
I'm going to get him.
I'm going to get him. Oh, there he goes.
Slice.
Just out of range.
Yeah, it's the damnedest thing. Like, who... What? Again, the editing, knock off like a half a second of that shot, a 20th of a second or something. I don't know, but it's so what were they thinking leaving that in there?
Really bad.
It's so bad.
He's bad at being a maniac.
So everyone then leaves the bedroom, but Linda comes back in a bit and goes into the attached bathroom. And then with the camera pans over, and you see the maniac climbing up the ladder. We then see Chris and Tommy heading upstairs. They pass Linda in the hallway, who I guess is done pissing or whatever she did. Chris and Tammy go into Linda's bedroom to make out. Then Chris goes into the bathroom, tells Tommy to take off his shirt. And we get a quick shot of Billy now sneaking in the front door.
He's just straight up breaking and entering.
He really is at this point.
He's well, I guess not breaking, but he's just straight up intruding.
Home invasion.
Yeah, there you go.
He's home invasion.
Yeah. At least the girls let one guy in. This guy's just like, I'm coming in. Fuck it.
Then we cut to Chris taking a shower. No nudity is seen.
Yeah, this is a weird scene because they show her take a shower, and I'm like, okay, this is where we get the boob shot. And she's all about getting laid and having sex and getting her friends laid and everything. So, and then it's like, okay, here comes the boob shot, and they're showing like a first person view coming at. Or is that
that's
later?
No. That's here, but it's one of the many camera angles. We get a camera angle in the shower, like kind of above her.
It's so long.
This shower scene is way too long
for no payoff.
For no payoff.
None.
The closest thing to nudity you get is you get the through the blurry shower curtain. Nudity.
Through a blurry shower curtain. I'm like, it felt like it was a first person view, and I'm thinking, okay, it's the killer.
Yeah,
he's gonna pull the shower curtain aside. Nope, it comes all the way up and then goes all the way back.
They make you think that. Yeah, I thought the same thing. Okay, it's like so the killer. I'm guessing like. Because, I guess, okay, so the killer walks
We've already
into the
established
bathroom.
he's got supernatural powers.
Yeah, he walks into the bathroom, walks up to the shower, and then backs away and closes the door. But if that's the case, then how did Tommy not see him? Who's laying right there on the bed? It's like, nothing makes sense here. Yeah. And so it's probably not, if it is, the killer's invisible now. Who knows? So, anyway, we go back to Tommy, who's laying down on the bed. And he pretty much instantly gets his throat slit by the maniac, who would have had to have been standing right next to the bed and clearly visible to make this work.
We've already talked about how the bed is so the bedroom is so vacant of object. It's just like a bed, and like
one nightstand,
like a nightstand, And obviously, he's laying on the bed, and the killer would have to come in through the window, climb up the ladder,
we always saw
through the window,
come up in,
and walk over to him, and without him noticing at all.
And he clearly would. His eyes, it's not like he's asleep. His eyes are open.
No, he's about to get fucked.
Yeah.
He's excited.
Exactly.
He's pumped. He took his shirt off. He's ready to go.
Yeah, he is. And the killer is like, he just walks up, slits the guy's throat.
And it's like once his scalpel touches his neck, he's like, just frozen. Just freezes.
Paralyzed.
You see him just stops.
So in the shower scene that continues to go on through all this, it's dragging on and on. Chris finally gets out. She finds Tommy and the bed's comforter are gone. She looks around for him, calls him queer bait a lot.
Yeah.
She's like, the closet, queer bait. And
she opens the closet. She like looks under the bed, like, where are you? Then she opens the closet door. She's like, where are you at? And she's like, get out of there. And she's not in there, so she walks away.
And this is where I had in my notes. There's a lot of homo, fag, and faggot.
Oh,
queer.
tons.
This is where I put it in my notes. But yeah, we've already covered that. Chris leaves the bedroom, and that's when, after she leaves, Tommy's body falls down from the closet, wrapped up in the comforter.
As the cat walks out.
And the
cat's like, gotcha! That cat is the murderer.
That would have made this movie so. If the cat was the killer, I'd love it so much more. In this movie.
Yeah,
that would have been
sure.
And
it was so funny because it's like they ruined the reveal. It's like, she left. She missed it. The body falls down. It's like, okay, everybody, back to one.
Nope, keep going.
Nope, keep going.
We'll fix this somehow. Keep going.
We gotta put this movie on the shelf at Blockbuster.
So at this point, the girls are back downstairs watching TV. Tracy now gets up, and she leaves to go upstairs, where she gets grabbed by Billy, who is now somehow upstairs already, waiting for her. Like, huh?
And this is something else. This is supposed to be a party.
Yes.
They're supposed to be partying, and they just keep sitting around with their like.
I wanted to bring this up. I was gonna try to bring this up when we got through all this, but we'll talk about it fucking now.
Are they wearing pants?
Yes.
I can't tell.
Linda.
They're wearing either the shorty shorts.
Linda is wearing shorts. Tracy, I think, is wearing pants, and Chris is wearing very, very short shorts underneath her baggy LSU football jersey.
Yeah.
But you're right. Let's talk about this. It's a slumber party. There's zero partying going. They're like, our summer of party. They're like, our summer of awesomeness. We're going to party all summer. It's to start tonight.
They drank a little.
Nothing.
They had like a little bit to drink, put it away. Then they talked about smoking weed.
Chris talks about smoking weed. They don't. They listen to music for 5 seconds.
And then they just lay around on the couch.
They lay around watching TV the rest of the
night.
And
going,
complaining.
I'm tired.
I'm tired.
And just bitching.
Yes. There's no party here. This is the worst slumber party ever. It's not even a party. It's like there's no party. It's like they might as well have said, hey guys, let's just go sleep at Linda's tonight.
Exactly.
Because we're not partying. We're not doing anything. We're just going to go sleep over at her house. Like, these girls are like 18. At that point, they're a little old for slumber parties anyway. But I was like, no, I think I'm going to stay in my bed. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm good. I'll see you guys in the morning or something.
I can jump around like an idiot to hair metal by myself.
Yeah, there's zero party. It's the worst. So, it's like Tracy goes upstairs, gets grabbed by Bill. They go into Linda's bedroom now, and they get on the bed. They start making out.
I did kind of like this shot, and this is one of the only shots I liked in the whole movie.
Are we talking about the hallway or the one where we're on the bed?
No, when they come into the room. So they're coming into the room, and the closet door is open, and you can see Tommy's dead body hanging upside down. But when they come crashing through, the girl hits the closet door and it slams closed before she can see it.
Yes.
And I kind of like that. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'll give him that. I agree. That was well done.
It was a good shot.
Anyway, the maniac pops up behind them, still bug-eyed, and he's moving his head around. They're
making out on the bed, and he just pops up like, oh yeah.
He pops up on the other side of the bed behind them. He was laying on the floor next to the bed, just waiting for him to. He pops up.
Where are you gonna put that finger, buddy?
I know. He's all bug-eyed. He's like, and his head just moving back and forth. He's like,
right there, and you know that weird Sixth Sense feeling.
Yeah. You were totally.
There's like, what the? Is there someone else in here? And like, because he's right fucking there.
He's like 2 feet from them, if that. And there's like whatever. There's making out.
His eyes are so wide open, they look like they should be making noise.
Yeah.
His eyes should be going. Ah!
His eyes should be screaming.
Yes.
He just watches them make out until Tracy gets up to go to the bathroom. That's when the maniac lowers himself out of view. Billy pulls out a beer, which sprays all over him when he opens it.
What is she going to do?
I don't know. It's just everybody goes to the bathroom all the time in this movie.
Gotta take a shit.
They don't know how else to separate these people. Like, everybody's going to the bathroom. That's like the excuse to get somebody alone. Like, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Yes.
Okay.
Like, I'm gonna take a shower. Oh, okay. I'm gonna go take a dump.
Like,
okay.
Like, normally you shower after the sex.
Right.
Who showers before the sex?
I know.
Really? Especially in high school, like, you're like, nope, we're doing this now. Then you take the shower. So the girl's like, yeah, that made zero sense. And now the girl's in the middle of making out. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. Like, what's happening? So anyway, Billy pulls out beer, opens it, sprays them all over. He gets up, goes over to the window. For some dumbass reason, he just throws his beer out the window.
I'm like, this doesn't make... Okay, this might be one of the most unbelievable things. Because teenagers worship beer.
Yes.
And these guys are beer maniacs.
Yes.
So they open up a beer, he's like, oh, I spilled some. And then he's
like,
for who knows what fucking reason, he takes his shirt off.
Oh, God, yes.
Tries to ring... But before he, chucks a full beer out the window.
It's a perfectly good beer.
He doesn't
full beer.
Then again, he doesn't have anything to set it down on.
There's no tables. There's no desk. There's nothing in there. That's
He's
true.
like, can't you fuck this beer?
Fuck it.
And he wrings out his shirt.
That's the next thing. Like he's acting like he got a bucket of beer poured over him, and it was just a little like you shake up you shake a can open. Okay, I got a little. He's wringing his shirt out the window like it's just gonna.
Yeah, he's wringing it out by the ladder, and he looks down. He's like, "Oh, hey, man, what are you doing here? I didn't know you were coming."
I do, but I do like the fact that he pulls out another beer. He throws the one away. He pulls out. It's like this is back in the day, like the 6-pack rings, those plastic rings.
Oh yeah.
So apparently he had 2 beers on the 6-pack, and he has the rings of a six-pack like tucked into his
back pocket.
into his belt line or his waist pocket. So they're just like dangling there off his waist like keychain.
Utility beers.
Yeah, exactly. Utility beers. He just pops next. I did like that idea.
Yeah.
But yes, he throws the beer out and looks down and is like, oh.
Hey, man, how's it going? I haven't seen you. I didn't know it was you.
Drinkable beer.
I didn't know you were coming here.
Yeah. And he sees Billy's, no one told me you're here. Come on in, for Christ's sake. And then we cut to a close-up of the torso of the man he's talking to. He's wearing scrubs. So
and he's got a pocket protector.
Yeah.
And it's and no undershirt. It's pretty clear it's science.
And the man pulls out a long scalpel from his chest pocket.
Ever so slowly and ever so delicately.
Yes. And like I said, it's also his chest, that front pocket is filled with pens and pencils. Billy continues saying, hey, come on, man, what are you doing? The man in the scrubs raises his hand, slices Billy's across the face with the scalpel.
Again, freezing Billy.
Cut to the bed where the maniac has popped his head up again, still looking like, huh? Like it's almost something like laughing or something, if you know. He's like, huh? Huh?
Sock it to me.
Sock it to me, baby. Like it's almost comical.
It is comical.
It's what the fuck?
Because the maniac looks over like, hey, that's my job.
Yeah, that's kind of like what it is.
What are you doing cutting in on my kills?
And then we cut to Tracy in the bathroom going through pill bottles for some reason.
Sure.
Then we go back to Billy.
She wants to get doped up. Hold on, before I fuck, I want to get high. We
go back to Billy, who's just standing there with blood running down his face, and then he just falls out of frame.
Just collapses.
Oh, shit. Okay. Meanwhile, Chris and Linda are downstairs watching the tiny black and white TV.
Bitching
and
moaning.
Yeah. And then we go right back to the bedroom where at this point, you clearly see it's science dumping Billy's body out the window.
So, yeah, you look over and you see it's science.
Yeah.
So science has now come into their house and killed.
Straight up home invasion.
One of the boys. So now we have two maniac murderers with scalpels.
Big scalpels. And can I also say, I'm sure they exist, honestly, in this movie, but the scalpel they use, or at least science uses, is like the longest scalpel I've ever seen. Like most scalpels I see are maybe the size of a pen or a pencil. This thing is like the extra, like the king size, if you will.
It's a big handle. It's a real big handle.
But yeah. The blade's the same size, but it's got this very long handle. So science dumps his body out the window, and then we go to another close-up of the maniac's face.
Kind of going, that's a good idea.
But again, eyes still bugged out of his head.
It looks like he's like taking notes. He's like, okay, dump the body. Oh, right, okay.
And then we go right back to Chris and Linda, who hear Tracy scream. They run upstairs. They find Tracy standing by the window holding a bloody scalpel. And the girls just chalk it up to a prank by the boys and leave.
Yeah, dude, that's Southern charm. I don't know how much more of this fucking shit I can take of this motherfucker's pranking. I'm like, holy God. Classy ladies down here. Classy.
Yeah. And they just drop the scalpel on the floor and they leave. Out in the hallway, Linda's mother shows up, tells them to go to bed.
She's just like... they're all standing around, all three of them are standing there, and she's like storms into all three of them and then stands next to them like, what are you doing, girls? And she looks just about the same age.
Yeah, she's a very young mama.
She's a very young mom. She looks like
this is like I got pregnant at 16 in the 1950s or
13.
Something.
Jeez, my God.
So yeah. Where were we? Anyway, Linda, in the bedroom, we see the bloody scalpel get picked up and then immediately put right back down as Linda walks into the room. So again, no way that Linda does not see whoever it is.
Where does this guy go?
I guess he just turns invisible because she walks in and he's like directly in front of her, line sight, no way to miss this guy. She walks up,
but it's a low shot, so all you see is like the
hand,
and then you see her coming into frame, and it's like her feet.
Yeah, and so whether it's science or the maniac, either way, it doesn't matter who.
We don't know. Yeah.
Whoever it was should have been clearly seen. No problem. She picks up the scalpel, drops it out the window.
Yeah, she tosses out the window.
Why would you toss it out the window onto your front lawn or on like the sidewalk or something you can step on? Like, just throw it away.
Outside the house.
Oh wait, they might have a trash can in a room because there's nothing in there.
We have a beer that was thrown out there.
Yeah.
A body that was thrown out there.
A beer,
and now a scalpel.
All in the, like, hanging out in the front lawn. And this is a suburbs. Like, nobody sees this.
Right,
Like,
all in like a 5-minute span.
Yeah.
Just throwing all kinds of shit out there.
There's like medieval times you're just throwing your bucket of shit out the street, throwing your dead who died from the plague out there. Just throw it all out there.
Scalpels, knives.
So, and then we cut to another close, like zooming shot of the maniac on the other side of the bed. He's breathing all heavy and he's all bug-eyed.
Oh, he's really breathing this time.
Yeah. It's like they're trying, again, like ripping off Halloween when you saw like Michael Myers, you hear him breathing through the mask. It's like they're trying to rip that off again. And next we get like it's like a wavy Scooby-Doo shot of an old clock. Yeah, it's like, and then we go to Chris waking up the next morning on the couch. She looks over, sees the front door open.
It's daytime.
Yeah, it's daytime. It's next morning.
Yeah, and so I'm like, okay, she slept downstairs because that's the last time we saw her. And the mom's like, everyone go to bed. So, all right, next morning. I'm like, well, that slumber party's over.
Yeah, slumber party. She goes to the door, spends several moments looking out the front door. Absolutely nothing. It's like, why are we standing on this? She stands there for like 30 seconds.
She just looks bored.
Looking bored out of her mind. I don't blame her. She
looks left, looks right, looks down for a while, picks up the paper,
looks back outside, looks around. And like, why are we staring on this for so long?
There's a lot of those scenes in this movie too.
There are, but it's like, why are we like, holy shit, it's staying on for too long. Next, we watch her stick her head out a random window. And we hear an echoey, disembodied voice say things like, come upstairs. Yeah. We're having a party. Come on, Chris. Come upstairs. Go. And then we see Scott sneak in through the window as soon as Chris turns and walks away from it.
So, again, I'm thinking, okay, now here's Scott.
Yeah, here's Scott. A little late to the party.
Yeah.
It's the next morning.
It's the next morning, pal.
Chris goes upstairs, bumps into Tommy. They hug. Then Tommy seems to just throw Chris down the stairs.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, something's up because we've seen Tommy get killed.
Yeah.
And I thought he stabbed her in the back.
No, he just throws her down the stairs. Oh. Then Billy shows up again. Chris, quote unquote, rolls down the stairs, which is, again, there's no stunt work, so she's just kind of like.
No, she definitely got stabbed in the back because her back's all bloody.
No.
Yes.
Not yet.
She was sorry. She got stabbed by him.
She did not get stabbed
twice.
She does not.
I will bet you money.
I'm not watching this movie. But she is not getting stabbed.
I like how you stop for a minute and you're like, God damn it. That means I have to watch it again.
Yeah.
She was stabbed.
I've already watched it twice. I'm not watching it.
I also watched it twice. That's why I'm like, I know she was stabbed.
No.
Anyway,
so she rolls downstairs. Chris looks up and over and sees Linda and Tracy stand there looking like blood-covered zombies.
Yeah, they look all zombified, and they're going, Chris, help us, Chris.
They raise their arms up. Their arms are like the mummy walk of Frankenstein, old Frankenstein.
And you hear the them saying, help us, Chris, but they're not moving their lips.
No, it's all disembodied voices. She runs between them she's like a running back running through the line. Like, she doesn't run around them or away from them. She runs right through them.
She does have a football jersey on.
She does. And then back over to the window where Scott came in through. The window shuts right as she gets to it. More disembodied voices say, Chris, 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 over and over again. She rushes over to some other window, which is also open. Like I said, seriously, every window is open. Every window in the house is open. Chris tries to escape through the window, but gets grabbed by Scott, who is now back outside, even though we just saw him enter the building. Chris gets away, runs right into the open arms of Linda's mother. The mom and Chris hug.
Gives her a hug, like a sweet embrace.
Yes. And then the mother stabs Chris in the back with a large kitchen knife.
Butcher knife, yeah.
That's where she gets stabbed.
She got stabbed early. She got stabbed twice.
No, she didn't.
Yes, she did.
No, she didn't.
All right, I'll show you.
Anyway, we crossfade back to the old clock, which reads 3 o'clock now. Chris wakes up again on the couch. The phone rings. No one's there. She goes upstairs, wakes up Tracy and Linda, who are sleeping in Linda's bed, saying, okay, which homo is calling on the phone? Chris ends up going to the bathroom where now there's not just one, but two phones sitting on the bathroom counter, the bathroom sink counter, like two phones.
And Chris goes to answer the phone, and like when she was answering the phone downstairs, it's like she's like, I don't need to put up with this shit. Yeah. God damn, this isn't her house.
It's not.
This isn't her house.
I know.
She's like, I need a volume. These motherfuckers keep calling. I'm like, God damn, she's pissed. She's so irritated.
Like 14, I'd sleep over at your house. Like, if I'm answering your phone, I'm like, fuck you, guys, fuck you.
And be so irritated that people are calling my parents' house. She's so pissed off. And then she goes up the stairs in the bathroom, and it's just two phones. But they're like desk phones.
It's not like wall phones on the wall. They are the old punch button. One might be a rotary phone.
Yeah.
But they're sitting. They're
like what should be on a desk.
Yes, desk phones.
And they're on the count, like on the sink. They're on the sink vanity.
On the vanity.
And it's like they're so big and awkward.
Where are they coming from? Seriously, how long are those phone cords? They drag them all the way to the bathroom?
How many?
And not just one. Okay, maybe there's one in Linda's room, and she took that into the bathroom.
Yeah.
Fine. But where the fuck's the second one coming from?
It's so weird.
And how long is that phone cord?
Why do you have two phones in the bathroom? Two separate lines. Not just two phones, two separate lines.
Oh my god. One of the two phones rings. She answers it again like it's her house. And she thinks it's one of the guys messing with them, but turns out it's Linda's dad. Nothing comes from this scene. Chris and Tracy.
She does drop the Shelly Hack line, which I never heard of.
Yeah.
Who do you think it is? Shelly Hack? I'm like, I have no idea who that is.
I think it's supposed to be them trying to just show that they're Shelly Hack's some other student at this school.
Nope,
that we never
I looked
meet.
it up. She was in one season of Charlie's Angels.
Oh, all right. Then that is.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like
it was like the most obscure person to drop.
Yeah.
It's so strange.
Really weird.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, who's Shelly Hack? It seemed to be someone
I totally thought it was just.
So
some other
I looked
kid
it
from
up
their
and I'm
school.
like, Shelly Hack, one season, the last season, from 79 to 80, and I'm like, and that's all she really did.
Wow.
And I'm like, that's weird.
That is weird. That's really weird.
Really strange.
That's like when we did Terra Bloodfart Lake and they dropped that one racist comedian guy's name and we who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, that's really strange. I didn't look that name up. That's kind of fun. It's cool you did. Anyway, the camera pans across Linda's arm. So Chris and Tracy announced that they both go back downstairs. Linda gets back in bed. She tries to go back to sleep. The camera pans across Linda's arm over to her hand, which is hanging off the side of the bed. And laying on the floor next to the bed is Science, who pulls out the scalpel from his shirt pocket. Linda rolls over. Science stands up. And again, we see him pull the scalpel out of his shirt pocket. Again. So not once, but twice he does this. Even though, like I said, just 2 seconds ago, they clearly show him doing it. Science is standing over Linda. Then we see the maniac pop up behind Science, all bug-eyed as usual, and slits Science's throat.
This house ain't big enough for the two of us.
Apparently it is not.
Only one maniac's killing it here, motherfucker.
But again, can we stop and think about how this spatially would work? That would mean the maniac would have to have been basically, Science would have been laying on top of the maniac, or shoulder to shoulder with him, because when Science gets up, the maniac gets up right behind him. And all is between, it's the bed, a little bit of floor where Science is laying, and then a wall. There's no closet on that wall either.
I never even thought about that. You're totally right.
Where does he come from?
Science of the maniac must have been how you doing? How you doing? You mind if I get this one first? Well, I kind of wanted it. Well, I'm going to get it first. And then once he gets it, he's like, motherfucker, no!
I said no! That's had to be what happened, because it makes zero sense.
It doesn't. And Science is tall. They're both tall guys.
Science is really tall.
They're both tall guys. Yeah. Science is taller, but they're both tall people. They're not small men.
They are not. Anyway, Science is dead. He's got his throat slit. The maniac then just leans over Linda, looking down on her with his bug eyes, moving his head around all weird.
Yeah, and here's your ample opportunity to kill her.
And this is where I noticed the sweet Burt Reynolds poster in the background because I'm so bored. I'm just like looking around the room and everything else.
I saw a Bee Gees one too.
That comes later. I was gonna come on to later because later it's like they replaced Burt Reynolds with the Bee Gees poster. Because if you look, it's on that same wall. But when you come and see the Bee Gees poster, the Burt Reynolds poster is gone, and the Bee Gees are up. It's weird.
I didn't pay that much attention to it.
I was so bored. I was looking around and everything in the background. I was downstairs, Tracy and Chris talk about the guys. The guy's car is still being parked out front. They just want to go to bed because, again, this party's fucking lame. It's not a party.
She just woke everybody up.
Yeah.
And said, "Come on, bitches, let's party." And then they had that scene where they got Science killed and like, "Fuck this part, I'm going to bed."
It's like, you just woke us up, bitch.
Wake up. Let's go to bed.
Yeah.
God damn.
Tracy gets up, goes upstairs to Linda's room, gets in bed next to who she thinks is Linda. Tracy gets upset with Linda for leaving the bathroom light on because that's what's keeping her up, not the fucking lamp on the nightstand right next to her.
I know. It's like
what?
The light is fully lit up. The room is fully lit up.
Fully lit.
And she's like, "Hey, you left the light on the bathroom." And then she starts bitching. Why aren't you going to turn it out? Oh, God.
I have to get him to turn the bathroom.
The whole room is lit.
Bitch, the lamp next to you is lighting the room, not the bathroom. Turn the lamp off. I'm like, why are you yelling about the bathroom light? So she gets out of bed. Tracy rolls over, pulls the sheet back to see Science's dead body. Tracy gets out of bed, backs away, but backs right up into the maniac. Again, who I guess is just standing in the middle of this empty room that nobody sees. He grabs her, freeze frame.
Yeah, again, she freezes. Oh, and she like looks right in the camera.
Yeah, she does. She's
like,
looking
"Hey,"
right at the camera.
Right into the camera, and it's like, and they hold on to that shot just like 3 seconds too long.
Yeah.
It should be like a, and then cut, but it's like,
Well, like I said, it's a freeze
cut,
frame.
You know?
It's freeze frame.
It's like, but it's so weird.
It is. It's crazy. And then we cut to Linda's mom asleep in her bed. She wakes up to the phone ringing. Again, it's Dr. Sickler, her husband, saying that, "Hey, I'm still at the hospital."
And one of the first things she asks about, orange juice.
Orange juice. Yep.
When are you bringing me the orange juice?
Bitch, you're sound asleep. You don't need your orange juice. What? Like, you'll be there in the morning when you wake up. Calm down.
So funny. It's so weird.
And they talk, but again, it's just useless and boring. This whole scene of her in the bed talking to Sickler on the phone is pointless and just a waste. I
have to stay further at the hospital. There's an emergency going on. One of the nurses was killed. And she's like, "Oh, pretty nurses got killed, huh? You gonna bring me my orange juice?" It's so bad. It's so bad. "I'll bring you orange juice in the morning." "Okay, well, have a safe night. You too, honey. Bye."
She hangs up.
It's kind of how it goes.
It is. It really is. She gets up, heads like to the stairs, and shouts down to Chris to check the back doors, make the back doors locked.
There's some guy killing people, and there's no orange juice in the house. Check the door. It's an emergency.
So the mother then checks on Linda. She opens the door to Linda's room, looks in, sees two people sleeping under the sheets. She's like, "Oh, two peas in the pod." Closes the door. Behind the door is the maniac holding the scalpel. He's waiting to ambush, but she never enters the room.
No one checks people in beds.
Nope.
No doctors, no friends, no moms. Everyone's just like, "Yep, everything's fine."
I get the
bloody
mom.
sheets.
I kind of understand
cool.
the mom. Like, okay.
Okay,
I get that one, but still, the doctor is unforgivable. But yeah, that's twice now. It's like this has basically happened in this movie. So that's when Chris, we cut to Chris looking out the back door and seeing Tommy's car. The back door is actually more of a side door. She goes outside, calling out for Tommy and Billy.
Calls him a faggot again,
yeah,
I'm sure.
Of course. That's when we see Scott now sneak behind her and go inside. He sneaks in the door behind her. Chris turns to go back inside. The door closes by itself. When Chris goes to open it, Linda pops up on the other side. Chris kind of has to force the door open, saying to Linda, "You scared the hell out of me." Linda falls into Chris's arms dead, her back covered in blood. Chris lowers Linda's body to the floor, and what she does next makes zero sense to me if you think about it.
So she comes in. And Chris is stabbed and falls. Linda falls into Chris's arms. And instead of screaming and yelling and freaking out, help.
Again, this is where I'm talking about like fucking aliens and robots, man. Because, okay, first of all, she doesn't see anything. She closes the door and stands there looking out the window in the door. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? The killer is obviously inside the house because you said your dead friend come up to you from in the house.
Is bonkers.
Why is she looking behind her outside where she just came from? She should be running out that fucking door to the neighbor's house to get help, screaming, not standing in the window looking where the killer obviously is not. The killer is in the house. You should be not in the house.
But she decides to go for a leisurely stroll.
Yes,
a leisurely stroll. Leisurely stroll through the house.
She goes into the kitchen.
Kind of bored, kind of high maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows? Just kind of.
She might be on lithium too. She's out. She's maybe on something.
Maybe she took a handful of Valium. Who knows?
Yes. She goes to the kitchen to use the phone, but we see the maniac, behind her, in the doorway or something.
Yeah, she checks the phone.
Yeah, she checks the phone. The line's been cut.
Has it?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? There's at least two other fucking lines in the house.
In the bathroom. Two are in the bathroom.
God.
Yeah, it's not. They didn't cut the cord from the phone to the wall. They cut the cord from the phone receiver to like the phone itself.
Well, there's more phones. There's plenty more phones.
So, anyway, Chris turns, walks away, and again, she walks right past where the maniac should be and would be standing. She would clearly fucking see him.
And she's walking so slowly. And
no urgency.
With no, like, not even like looking around, just like, duh.
She's acting like Dr. Sickler. Like, she's like, nothing's happened. Her friends aren't. She didn't just find her friend murdered in her arms, died in her arms.
She's not calling out anybody's name.
Nope.
She's just like, just walking slowly to the house.
So she goes upstairs to Linda's bedroom. She pulls back the sheet and finds Tracy dead with her throat slit now.
Again, doesn't scream.
Does not scream.
Just kind of goes,
huh.
Oh.
This is where I noticed the Burt Reynolds poster has been changed to the Bee Gees poster.
Okay.
She hears a noise coming from the open closet behind her. Chris goes over to her saying, "Who's there?
Hello?
Please? Hello? Please?
Who's there?
Hello? Please?"
Hello? It's so unnatural.
Yeah.
You found two of your dead friends and you hear a noise in the closet. You're like opening it up, going in there saying, please. Who is it?
Tommy's body falls into view again.
Act
hanging
2.
there upside down by the comforter. I can think because that means that at some point the maniac would have had to go back into the closet, reposition Tommy's body just so he could have it fall down a second time. He reset his own booby trap.
He's like, it didn't work the first time. I gotta scare this bitch. Her one friend didn't scream. Second friend's dead. Didn't scream. Something's got to get this bitch scared. All right, that's it. Come on, Tommy, you dumb fuck. We're setting you back up.
Setting you back up. He resets the body.
And when she gets close enough, waboom, he falls again.
And all she gets is a muffled. She's kind of like,
and then scatters away.
And that's it. And it scatters away. And then we see the maniac come out from behind the closet. He was like hiding behind the clothes.
He's just like, yes! Like fist pumps. Yeah! Got her!
And again, they're ripping off Halloween because he stands there and looks at Tommy's dead body like Michael Myers would kind of stand there and like appreciate his work or something like that.
He cocks his head all weird. He cocks his head
really weird and looks at Tommy's body, and then he goes after Chris. Chris enters the mother's bedroom with all the urgency of watching paint dry. She enters the attached bathroom of the mother's room where she hears the shower running, but there's no one there.
Yeah, the shower is just, it sounds like the shower is just dumping gallons and gallons of water. It's like one of the most high pressured showers I've ever heard.
And then popping up behind Chris is the mother holding her bloody neck. The mom grabs Chris by the shoulder. Chris spins, sees her, still offering zero reaction to seeing the blood-covered dying mother. Chris just pretty much
walks
past her without saying anything or trying to help.
And the mother doesn't like fall to the ground. The mother just like turns her head
and looks
and watches her walk away. The mother's not crumbling to the ground or gasping. The mom's just like, hey, look, I got your fucking bloody throat. Hey, where are you going? Come back.
Yeah, the mom doesn't say anything or even make a single sound for that matter. She just turns
gurgle.
her head and watches Chris leaves
Doesn't
the room.
crumble to just like comes up like, huh? You leaving? Okay.
It's like surreal. Like it's so unnatural. Like,
this feels like more of a dream.
Yes, this feels more like I'm at a loss for words at how bonkers this is and how unnatural this entire sequence has become. It's insane. So Chris rushes down the stairs into the kitchen where we see the maniac at the top of the stairs slowly walking down towards Chris now.
Holding the scalpel out in front of him's fucking face.
Yep.
Slowly coming down.
Grabs a knife from another big Michael Myers knife from the drawer. So there's been like 3 of these things total. Anyway, she grabs another one from a drawer. A hand reaches out, grabs her by the shoulder. Chris spins around to see Linda standing there. Linda tells her to get help. And then she falls to the floor dead again.
Collapses to the ground.
Yes.
And what does she do? Nothing.
Doesn't get help. She does not go out that side door in the kitchen. So she wanders around the house again, showing no urgency, fear, or any emotion whatsoever.
Holding the knife up, kind of like in a stab position.
Yeah.
And just slowly walking.
Yeah, we watch her way too long.
Oh, yeah.
This drags on and on. And then just out of nowhere, and for no apparent reason, she spins around, making that kind of a stabbing motion. Turns out she's just stabbed Scott in the chest. He falls to the floor, dead with this crazy look on his face.
Right into his sternum.
Right into his sternum, like dead center mass.
And again, she stabs like a little and it's like, dude, and then they show it's like plunged deep right through that fucking breastbone.
The breastplate,
I mean, just, God damn it.
It's like dink, and fully in. It's like up to the handle. All you see is the handle left of the knife.
Plunged in there.
And Scott dies.
That must be a pretty sharp Ginsu knife.
Yes.
Cuts right through a can.
The look on his face, like he gives when he falls, is so overdone. It's hysterical. I love the look on this guy's face. So again, then we cut to another close up of the maniac's face, holding the scalpel. Just cut to his face. Same shot we've seen a dozen times before already. Chris opens the front door to leave and finds Billy's dead body hanging from the door like a Christmas wreath. But instead of leaving, she's out. The door is open. She can run out.
Gone.
Free as a bird.
Yep.
Fly, little bird.
Yeah.
Flee. She goes back inside the house. And she goes back to the kitchen to get another knife. Another knife. She's like, oh, I used that one up. Go back and get another one. And it's the exact same knife.
It's just reset.
How many knife sets do they have?
Take 2.
Like normally, yes. I get most house sets like the knife set, and you have that one Michael Myers Halloween carving knife in the knife set. We have it too. But we don't there's like 3 of these things in this drawer.
Honey, I was just gifted these set of steak knives for Employee Appreciation Week at the hospital. But honey, we already have that same set. What will we ever do? Well, now we found out.
Yeah. So
she grabs a second fucking kitchen knife.
And then she's once again starts slowly.
Same scene.
Same thing, and slowly, emotionlessly wandering around the house. She ends up facing down the maniac.
Yeah, they're face to face. He's walking towards her ever so slowly with his arm fully extended, holding the scalpel.
The camera keeps cutting back and forth between the close-up shots of the maniac's bug-eyed face and Chris standing there looking at the knife like it's some sort of alien thing that she's never seen before.
She'll look at the knife.
Well, like she has no clue what a knife is used for. It's like she's never seen one before.
She's holding the knife, looks at the knife, looks at the maniac, looks at the knife, looks at the maniac. Maniac's getting closer, looks at the knife, looks at the maniac like, huh?
And it's like she's never... No, yeah, and then she has like this moment, she has this she come to Jesus moment,
an epiphany.
Goes off, the light bulb goes over, and she realizes, oh, I can use this to stab someone like I just did 5 seconds ago.
Just stabbed my friend Scott.
Yeah.
Who I was trying to get his dick wet and I couldn't. Instead, I killed him.
Chris looks up at the maniac and then stabs the maniac in the chest.
Yeah, she just goes, as the maniac inches close, she goes, oh yeah, waboom.
Whap.
Right in the heart.
Right in the heart again. The maniac grabs his chest as he falls against the fridge. He slides down the fridge, and it's pretty fucking ridiculous. It's easy to tell that the maniac is like holding a pump in his hand.
As you can clearly see him squeezing a pump, making blood spurt flying out of his chest.
Or try to, but because it looks more almost like, because it's not really a pump. It almost looks like a kid like trying like second grade special effects. It's like a kid holding a ketchup packet in his hand and he's squeezing the ketchup packet against his chest. And just this little tiny bit of blood comes out. But he's trying to hide the packet in his hand. So Maniac dies, and then Chris just passes out on the floor.
Dude,
just passes out.
Not like daintily.
No.
She doesn't like faint. She's waboom. Just face plant. It's like someone kicked their legs out from underneath
or like
her.
A sniper shot just got out away, like
just it's like fucking Anderson Silva ran and went bam, kicked her legs out from underneath her, just right on her face.
Yeah, and no reason whatsoever why this happens, but she's on the floor. Fade to black, and then we go into like this above shot of the maniac, Linda, and Chris all on the kitchen floor. The next morning, Dr. Sickler pulls into his driveway, goes inside. He goes into the kitchen, gets a carton of milk from the fridge, pours himself a glass of milk, drinks it, puts the carton back.
I wanted it to be orange juice so
bad.
I
did too.
I wanted it to be orange juice. I'd be like, motherfucker! I would have lost my shit.
The glass falls on the floor for some reason. It breaks. Like, I don't know why this happens.
Yeah,
it just does.
And they show a glass break, and he just goes,
yeah,
it just walks away. What the fuck is that?
The wife will get that later. I'm really broken glass on the floor for people to step on in the first thing in the morning.
What the fuck is that?
Like, how's it even break? Like, we don't see. It's like he sets it on the counter, and next thing it's just on the floor, broken. Like, is there a ghost now too?
But then the phone starts to ring,
and then the phone rings.
Oh God!
Oh, and also, by the way, the kitchen. It's bright daylight now. It's daylight. And the kitchen is fucking dark as shit for a second. The windows are open. There should be sunlight pouring in this thing, ample sunlight, but the kitchen is like black as night. And it wasn't this dark when, like, at night when the girl and when Chris and the maniac were in there, it was brightly lit. And now it's like a cave.
But the phone.
The phone rings. He picks up it, but the cord's cut. So he goes to another phone and to another phone. To another phone.
He walks around the house. Forever. Picking up phones. It's like his hearing doesn't work.
Yeah.
He can't like echolocate where the ring is coming from. He's like, this one's not working. This one's not working. And he doesn't seem to give two shits. He's just like,
that all of his phone cords have been cut.
Just gotta walk to the next one. Nope, that one's not working.
Zero reaction. Also, by the way, I know this is late 80s, and he's a doctor. Wouldn't he have a fucking answering machine? He's a doctor. Come on.
Or a pager.
Something. Anyway, so he finally finds one that works. We see the maniac dragging bodies down the hallway and like through rooms. That every time like the doctor leaves one room, maniac comes in as he leaves with a body. Sickler finally gets to the phone. He answers it, and it's a nurse from the hospital. She's calling him that his patient has escaped. I'm like, really? Just now they're finding out that he's escaped?
They're just now calling?
Like, wasn't Sickler there at the hospital all night because of this patient anyway? Like, he was called in for this guy, and now he's been there all night.
Was he called in for that guy?
I thought he was.
I don't know if they were. They just said it was an emergency.
Okay, maybe not. I assumed it was for this guy. Maybe not. Either way, this guy's been gone for at least 12 hours, and they're just now saying, uh-oh, our super dangerous schizophrenic murdering killer is missing. It's gone. Oh, no. Let's call the doctor. Right. And Dr. Sickler asks her if she has called the cops yet, and she says no.
No! I thought I'd call you first.
No, I will call you first. Are you fucking kidding me? Who does that? Who thinks that calling the cops is the bad idea? Oh, I better call the doctor first and warn him instead of the cops. No, you call the cops first and then the doctor.
Marshall, I need you to settle down. You're starting to get me kind of upset here. I'm starting to worry. Like, I haven't seen you scream and yell like this in a while. Like just take a breath, man.
This movie defies all common sense and logic and all laws of, like, we've seen laws of gravity and physics broken. Common sense is thrown out the window. Editing, the guys, oh my God, this movie. Okay.
Calm down.
I can't go with the fact that a murdering psychopathic prisoner has escaped and is gone for 12 hours. And they just now realize they even had a news report earlier that night saying, oh my God, 2 bodies have been found outside this hospital. Maybe we should check on the patient that's in for murder. Nope, this lady's there on that pile of blankets. Sure looks like him. I guess that's him. We're okay. All good here.
I can't calm you down. This is gone. You're just gone. You're becoming a maniac, Marshall. Your eyes are starting to bug out of your head. All I need to do is put a surgical mask on your face. You're going to fit right in.
And then to make it worse, this jackass Dr. Sickler says, don't do anything until I get there. So he's even telling them, don't call the cops until I get back to the hospital.
And what's it going to do any good for him to get back there?
What's he going to do? What is he going to do? Like, is he going to go on Dr. Loomis now? Is he going to hunt him down? I mean, what the fuck is he going to do? You tell the nurse, call the fucking cops. You know what? I'll call the cops myself now. Like, don't say, don't do anything till I get back there. Like, God damn it. Anyway, Stickler's in his room. He leans over, kisses his wife on the head.
Who's dead. Who again doesn't look underneath the sheets.
It's just a sheet pulled over her body. Yeah, this is the third time now.
It's a sheet completely covering her head. He doesn't even take the time to pull the sheet back and kiss her on the cheek.
Nope.
He just leaves it there and kisses the sheet.
Kisses the top of her head. And he leaves. He gets back in the car, drives away. So 3 fucking times we've had the Ferris Bueller blanket in the...
3 times.
3 times we've had this shit happen. Not once does anybody do anything about it. The camera cuts back to the ladder that's still set up against the front of the house, leading to the open window.
Which again, the doctor did not notice.
Thank you! Again, never notices. He walks right past it twice. In and out. He walks past a ladder leading up to his daughter's bedroom, and there's a killer that's escaped the hospital. And he doesn't do. All the core phones in his house have been cut. All the lines have been cut. The ladder is leading up to his daughter's bedroom, and he's like, fuck it, I don't care. I gotta go back to the hospital.
And he forgot the orange shoes. Oh, fuck this guy.
So we see Chris pop her head out the window, and then she just ducks back inside as he drives away.
She doesn't say anything.
Hey, help! Or let me get out of this fucking house. Call the cops.
She can get out anytime she wants.
She's had multiple chances.
I think I'm worried about her. She's like, this place is pretty cool. I'm starting to get kind of concerned about that bitch.
She goes down the stairs. We cut back to Sickler. Now he's back in the house, but he's getting in the elevator at the hospital. Keep that in mind. At the hospital. Standing behind him in that very elevator is the maniac. The door closes. The maniac grabs Sickler and slits his throat. Another horrible blood effect, just like we saw with the guy on the bench. Same thing.
It's like half of it gets cut.
So the killer has gone from the hospital to Dr. Sickler's house. Now he's gone back to the hospital. We go back to Chris looking out the kitchen window into the backyard where there happens to be a pool.
Yes.
She's in the kitchen. She hears a splash. So she looks up out the window into the pool and she sees Dr. Sickler's body floating in the pool. What the shit is happening? What? What is going on? I can't take this.
You can't. Your head is about to explode. God damn. So he's gone from the hospital to the house, back to the hospital, back to
teleporting I've ever seen.
It wasn't he stabbed in the heart?
He was stabbed in the fucking heart.
So Linda or Chris.
And not only did he teleport with the doctor's body. So, we've seen teleports he teleported from the first floor to a second floor, not across town in the middle of, in the blink of an eye, carrying a body.
Middle of the day.
In the middle of the day. God damn it. Oh, fuck. So Chris decides to get into the pool, wades out to Dr. Sickler, rolls him over.
Sees the slit throat.
He's had his throat slit. She backs away from Sickler. Instead of getting out of the pool, she just stays in the pool, backs away into the pool some more. And she gets grabbed by the fucking maniac who's also in the pool. How did she not see him in the pool? What? The maniac's in the pool. God damn it.
She gets her throat slit.
The maniac,
Guess what?
Guessed it. Throat slit. Nick, freeze frame.
As she's clasping her throat, freeze frame as blood's trickling down.
Freeze frame, fade to black. And that should be the end of this shit fest. But nope. It's got more to go.
Miles to go before you sleep, motherfucker.
We cut back to Chris waking up in her bed way back when we saw her lying down after she got off the phone with Linda back at the beginning of this movie.
Talking about partying, and it was all a dream.
The whole fucking bullshit experience we just sat through was a fucking dream.
So that explains all the teleportation.
God damn it.
You're losing your shit for a dream.
I hate this movie so much. God.
Oh, I wish I should be filming this.
The phone rings again. So many phone calls in this movie. It's like half the dial, half this movie is just phone calls. She picks it up.
They mentioned Ma Bell in it too. They got the ill communication.
She picks it up. It's Tracy. Chris tells her that she had a terrible nightmare and a nightmare within that nightmare. That's true. We had fucking Inception bullshit.
Nightmare within a nightmare.
Chris tells her about the night that they all got killed.
She explains like the whole plot.
Yeah, she does. She does. And Tracy's like, I'm bored. Come pick me up so we can go to Linda's for the slumber party.
She's like, okay.
She's like, okay. Chris hangs up the phone. We cut to Tracy and Chris pulling up in front of Linda's house. Inside.
So all that shit never happened.
None of it happened.
None of that ever happened.
None of it. Inside, Linda answers another ringing phone. Linda listens as a nurse from the hospital tells her that a very dangerous patient that her father treats has escaped.
So what the fuck is happening?
And that the father and the cops believe that the escaped patient is on his way to their house.
So did this happen?
She's a fucking oracle. She's a psychic, I guess, because she's dreamt this whole fucking thing.
So now there's an escaped lunatic.
Okay, first of all, again, okay. How would the patient know where the doctor lives?
Good question.
Like, you're a nurse. You worked in a psych ward. Dude,
yeah.
Like, you don't walk around with your fucking address pinned to your lab coat.
Nope. We don't even have our last name on our badge because we don't want. It just says Aaron.
S. Or maybe I don't even know if you have the last initial.
It just says Aaron.
Yeah. How the fuck would the patient know where the doctor lives? What? Did he escape his room, then go down to like the HR office, dig through the files for the doctor's address, his personnel paperwork, and he's like, okay, got it, then leave? How does this happen? So anyway, at least Linda hangs up. The other two girls knock on the front door, knock, knock, knock. We cut to Linda going out the back door, calling out for her mom. Like, Mom, we got to tell Dad or something. We see the maniac sneak in behind Linda.
It's so funny.
But
he's like,
he's doing like jazz hands.
He's doing jazz hands, like bouncing by.
Yeah, he is. But what's
Like,
even
you can't see
funnier,
me.
what's even sadder is we've talked about shit like this all the time. But when Linda turns to walk back inside the house,
it's a
it's a screened porch, and you can clearly see the maniac is still there. You see him going in the door,
scrubs.
walking through the door, as she turns around, looks directly at him going through the door, and doesn't say a goddamn thing. She follows him in the house.
Ugh.
Which means, so out front, we see Tracy and Chris. They decide, you know what? We're not going to wait for somebody to let us in. We're just going to go in ourselves. So they enter the house.
Like a boss.
Cut to a quick shot of the maniac holding Linda, covering her mouth, and dragging her down a hallway. Then a quick shot of Tracy and Chris go upstairs. Then cut right back to another fucking close-up of the maniac's face and the scalpel pointing, waving around the camera. We hear the girl scream as the maniac just walks towards the camera, holding the scalpel. Freeze frame, cue 80s hair metal, roll the fucking credits. That's Last Slumber Party. What the shit?
Well, Marshall, Chris just proves dreams do come true.
She's an oracle, man. She's fucking oracle. Holy shit, guys. I'm sorry. I have not been that worked up, I don't know, ever, but Jesus Christ.
I just let you go. I'm like, I could chime in here and there, but I'm almost afraid to. I think Marshall might stroke out if I say something to make him go up a little higher. Your face got as red as the walls. God damn. We got a red wall here.
I apologize, guys.
Woo!
I'm sorry. Anyway, that's Last Slumber Party. Let's move on to favorite kills.
There can be only one. Favorite kill.
Paul, what did you do to us? Good God, don't recommend any more. You're going to kill Marshall. My favorite kill, Marshall Hampton. Dead after watching this movie. Favorite kills.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you got?
What the fuck kind of variety of kill is this?
Everybody got their throat slit.
Which throat slit do you want?
Yeah.
Do you want the one on the bus stop? Do you want the... It's either face slash, or throat slit. Yeah. There might be a little variety with chest stab, but that's about it. God damn. I think my favorite kill is probably not Tom, not Scott,
Billy?
Brett, Billy. No, he gets his face cut. He's like, and he just cut away, and they cut back to him, and then out, just down again. Anderson Silva comes in and just kicks his legs out from underneath him, and he just falls on the ground. All the kills fucking suck.
They did. They're awful.
So yeah, I guess that was my favorite kill. And he gets thrown out a window.
They're thrown out a window.
By science.
By science. He even get killed by the real killer.
He doesn't get killed by the fucking B squad. The B squad maniac.
The bench players. Yeah. it's like the garbage time people get. It's like, it's garbage time. Throw in the bench guys. All right, my favorite... I don't know. I think my favorite kill is probably the laws of physics, time, and space. I think is my favorite kill.
Oh, killing science.
No, not actually killing science. Well, yeah, they did kill science, but I mean...
Well, he was also defying physics and time and space.
The killer just defies all laws of nature in this movie.
So which one was this? Because there's more than one.
No, all of it. That's it. They killed nature. It's like... them killing the laws of science and nature.
I get it.
It's my favorite kill. It's like he had a fucking Infinity Stones, man. He's just snapping his fingers, teleporting all around, talking to Space Jam.
Invisible. He's there.
He got the reality in the spaceship, and he's just having a ball. Yeah. Fuck. Favorite kill. I really don't know. They all fucking suck, dude.
They're all throat slits. They're all shitty throat slits.
The killer, the maniac at the end is comical just because of you see him clearly pumping his own blood in his hand. It is pretty funny, yeah. But Billy, it might be, again, Billy is not bad. Oh, the look on Scott's face when he got stabbed was hilarious.
Yeah.
But I think I'd probably go with, I think I'll just go with you. I'll go with Billy.
Really? Okay.
There's nothing else to pick from. They all fucking suck.
They are horrible.
They're all atrocious. But at least Billy had the kind of like
Does he have like a freeze ray attached to that scalpel? Because everyone freezes.
I think it's like laced or lined like some kind of like drug.
It's so unnatural.
Like a paralyzing drug.
You feel something sharp on your neck. I think people would freak the fuck out and like try and get it away as much as possible. But everyone
we
freezes.
talked about it in there was one episode we did a while back where you did the educational fact, and it was about the poison that people used to put in the blow darts that would paralyze people. I forget what it was called.
Oh yeah,
but I think it was dipped in that shit because everybody just gets paralyzed as soon as it touches them. I don't know. Fuck it. All right, let's move on to this week's odds and ends.
Not only did they watch these films, they researched them too. Ugh, what is wrong with these guys?
All right, ratings. IMDb 2.7 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes, it's not even on the site. On Amazon, fucking Amazon gives it a 3.2 out of 5. Plot keywords, there were 36 plot keywords. Only 3 of them were kind of different that I wrote down. Izod shirt, that's a first for us. Budweiser,
yeah,
and Volkswagen thing.
Volkswagen thing, baby.
Plot keyword. That's it. Trivia, there's really nothing. The only thing I can offer is that this movie was featured on as part of the Riff Tracks series of movies they did, which is a spin-off of like the Mystery Science Theater people.
Yeah.
So when they stopped doing Mystery Science Theater, they kind of moved and started doing this thing. It's called Riff Tracks. That version, if you want to watch that version with the Riff Tracks, that's on Amazon.
That's available on
Amazon.
Amazon.
That you can stream from Amazon, but it's not the actual just the movie. So if you want the Riff Tracks version, you can get it on Amazon. So that's all I got for trivia. There was nothing there. Budget, there's no surprise there.
Yeah.
Piece of shit. It doesn't matter. So that brings us straight to this week's 5-star reviews.
These special movies have a place in these special people's hearts. 5-star reviews.
Good God.
Yep. There's only 17 reviews on Amazon. 24% are 5 stars, with 23% being 1 star. So, from Ash Sin writes, "This is what we build our generation on, people. Not smartly written plots and special effects, naked women, creepy guys, and a killer with a common sense to go Darwin on their ass. 5 stars." And then all the other 5 stars reviews were basically people just commenting on the movie's timely arrival and the good condition that it came in.
Came in one piece. Thanks, Amazon.
Yeah, thanks. So, 1-star reviews. I wrote down 2. First one from Lorena. I watched this movie years ago, and to this day, it still goes down as the worst movie ever. The acting is so terrible, and it was so repetitive. If I could give it 0 stars, I would. 1 star. From TBS, the title is The Sensation of Watching Failure. Honestly, this is one of the worst films I've seen in a while, going beyond the woes of a bad movie and committing some of the worst cinematic sins known to audiences anywhere. The budget holding this movie together is awful at best, making certain that the quality of all things would be painted in disappointing shades. Then there were the bad actors, the lack of anything to keep their eyes appeased while they spewed the uselessness of poorly scripted dialogue, and a storyline that kept even the term recycled from looking like a bad thing. This, by far, is something to avoid at all costs. You simply won't enjoy it. Even for lovers of bad movies, the end effect is almost insulting. Highly deserving less than 1 star, 1 star. Now, with that said, maybe I won't read all these. I went to IMDb and found some pretty
lengthy ones.
IMDb
likes to write novels.
They do. They love fucking novels. But there is some pretty funny comments on some of these that they're pretty funny. From Horrormonger writes, "This is the greatest movie ever made. The acting, the writing, the quality of the movie. Is this the greatest movie I have seen? It has changed my life. Thank you, Steve and Tyler, for writing, directing, and starring in the most wonderful movie. I love this movie." Yeah. The last one from... Oh, no, I'm sorry. Okay. How do I want to do this? From Sandcooler writes, "What the hell is going on?" 3 out of 10. "Was this movie edited by Salvador Dali on drugs?" When I'm trying to get invested in the movie, it's important to have a vague idea of what's going on. When the killer teleports as often as this guy does, you have 2 options. 1, learn basic editing. or if you don't have the talent for that, write in a line about how he knows teleportation. Let's see. Also intensely fascinating. Okay. Writer director Steven Tyler never made another horror movie after this. Neither did any of the actors. I'd be grateful for that. But then again, Last Slumber Party is also intensely fascinating. How bad can a movie get before you stop calling it a movie? You just stare in awe because you have no idea what the next scene will bring. When you look at it that way, this is much more entertaining than a half a competent project. My favorite part's every time our mad psychopath Tyler himself opens his eyes real wide because he can't come up with any other way to look crazy. That's some great stuff. 3 out of 10. And that's kind of an interesting point. Because it is that way. Because this movie is so bad.
Yeah.
So bad, but it's almost like a fever dream. It's like it's like what is going to happen next?
At one point, does it stop being a movie and start being almost like an art house project?
Yeah, exactly. It's so insane and so broken of formula and like what proper
and dialogue and the way people are acting. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. Darth Tribute writes, wow, this movie by far is the best horror movie of all time. The plot twist, the acting, the sheer suspense and excitement is incredibly spellbinding. I recommend this movie to anyone who loves to be freaked out. And when I say freaked out, I mean freaked out! Girls trapped in a house with a killer on the loose. How do they come up with this stuff? This has to be a successful formula to it. And many, many writers of horror movies and directors of the horror genre need to study this movie inside and out to learn what it's truly scary. If you want to see a movie that makes you pee your pants, check out Last Slumber Party. Pure genius.
Is he talking about the same movie?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's being.
I think maybe sarcastic. It does need to be studied to what not to do. Do completely opposite of this. You'll be there.
Yeah. The last one I'm gonna read, and then we'll move on, is from Blaze HGEHG. This is a 2-star review from IMDb. I can barely even form a coherent sentence to describe to you what this movie actually is after having seen it, but I'll try. The premise is your typical cliche. Killer comes to slice up some teens. Here's an escape mental patient in a doctor's outfit wielding a scalpel. Against all odds, even logic itself, he goes on a rather successful murder spree. This movie is something like a bunch of friends knocked out in a weekend. They probably had no idea what they were doing. I doubt there was a script written. They clearly had no budget to work with and very little experience in making movies, but they did it, and that's kind of amazing. The writing is abysmal. The dialogue's even worse. The editing is a train wreck, where it's clear they dubbed music over individual shots rather than entire scenes, leading to incredibly disjointed moments where cutting to different camera angles remove the background music until they go back to the first camera. The acting ranges from wooden to supremely over the top. The killer in particular has lots of quote-unquote great scenes where he's staring directly into the camera with his eyes bugging out, waving his scalp around for no reason like he's trying to dissect the lens. There's a lot of amazingly stupidity worth laughing at. The movie actually does a pretty good job of ratcheting up its own absurdity. The last 10 to 15 minutes are as close to a literal fever dream as any movie can come. Would I recommend it? It's a stunningly bad movie, but it's also thoroughly ridiculous, and I bet everyone involved in a bunch of fun making it. If that sounds right up your alley, then by all means, check it out. So, it's kind of, I mean, it is what it is. All right, that's it. I probably shouldn't have read all those, but whatever. Aaron.
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah. Go ahead. Wrap it up.
Dude, I gotta have to say so bad it's scary. I mean, we like bad movies sometimes when it's so fun and crank, but it's just this one just misses it on all the marks. And in a weird way, it is kind of entertaining, but just in all the wrong ways.
Yeah.
First off, it's called Slumber Party, The Last Slumber Party. Not to be confused with Slumber Party Massacre, pardon me.
Oh, there was actually some people in some of the IMDb actually tried to warn, like, oh, this is not a sequel to the Slumber Party movie. So, like, I never thought that. But I guess
it's The Last Slumber Party.
Yeah.
And when you call it something like that, it's like, come on, you got hot chicks jumping around doing it. Give me a little sugar, baby. Give me a little booty. Give me a little boobie. Give me something. No. Fuck you. God damn it. But yeah, it's just, the editing is so bad. The cuts are so bad. I mean, we talk about bad logic movies, but the fact that the killer, she's like, run, get out of here. And she stays inside the house for the longest time. For the longest time, she doesn't want to leave. She suddenly becomes Billy Joel.
For the longest time. Yeah.
Oh, it's so painful. It's so painful to watch. And the movie's only an hour and 10 minutes.
I know, and it feels like an eternity.
It feels like an eternity. I kept looking at my watch. I'm like, oh, God. Why'd you do this to me? So, yeah, I'm going to have to say, so bad it's scary. And there was a moment, we didn't talk about it. There's a moment when I guess they're supposed to be watching something on the TV, and the movie cuts to like a zombie movie. It's like a zombie movie, and that looks so much better.
It does.
I'm like, what happened? But it's like the editing's so bad because they just show the girls watching TV, but they don't show them like watching the screen. They show them just on the couch and the TV's in front of them, and then all of a sudden it's like two army people. Like in a completely different scene, and there's a zombie coming, and they're like, shoot the zombie!
The video quality of the movie within a movie
is
way
way
better than the actual movie.
And then it cuts, and then it's back to a different scene in the movie. So it's like, what the? They just changed the channel?
I didn't talk about that, but yeah.
Just changed the channel in the middle of the movie. It's like, no, we got to go back to a fucking Last Slumber Party. I'm like, no!
It's like if you're watching a VHS and somebody accidentally hit the record button, like, oh shit, I recorded on the tape.
Yes.
Stop it.
Yes. It's like you tape a movie, like you tape over like a family event.
Yeah.
And then it just like cuts back to that family event for a little bit and the movie keeps going. It's like, it's so bad. Fuck this movie. Fuck it straight to hell.
Where do I even begin?
I don't know, man. I think you pretty much said everything you could possibly say.
Your
rant towards the end pretty much summed it up.
Yeah. So bad, it's scary. so bad. It's so scary. Yeah, like everything you said, man. We love bad movies, but this is just, it's not even fun to laugh at, really, because like we had fun laughing.
We had a lot of fun laughing at it.
When you're watching, especially if you're watching it by yourself, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, if you're watching it by yourself, you're just
like, let's talk about bad. Like we talk about like bad movies. Like we said, like Terror at Bloodfart Lake. That's a bad movie. And that's a movie like in the first 5-10 minutes when you meet the characters in that car, right? You're like, holy shit. I expect like 90% of people to turn the movie off right there. But that movie is so superior.
So much more fun.
So much more fun and so much more superior to this movie. And that is by far one of the worst movies we've done. But at the same time, it's insanely fun. Partly because of the insane writing, and the actors were committed and at least having fun with it. These girls were just like they were being tortured to do it, like they were being blackmailed into doing this or something like that.
Gonna do this movie.
We're gonna do the fucking movie. But yeah, I think my rants that you kind of got the idea. Yeah, so bad, scary. I'm not even gonna say anything else about it. I'm done. I want to wash my hands of this movie. Unfortunately, it's gonna be burned in my psyche for the rest of my days. This movie nearly broke me, Paul. So
good job.
Fuck you. You kind of got me on. You might be the first to get me. This movie was awful. That's it. We're running long. So we'll be back soon with another episode coming up in a little while. So in the meantime, guys, watch more horror movies and remember to always keep it tight.